Brothers and sisters, welcome to episode 72 in the book of Genesis. Today we're going to hear about the first world war, the first world empire, and it goes to war. And we're going to find out who it goes to war with. It happens to be Abram. We're going to get to that. Now remember, this is the situation. So Abram has been promised a lot. He has no children, but he does have some great wealth. And we're going to enter into a battle where an army comes thousands of miles to basically to Israel, Sodom and Gomorrah and some other kings, because they're mad at them, and they defeat a bunch of armies along the way. So this is from Genesis chapter 14, and they're eventually going to do battle with Abraham. He's called Abram at this time. This is Genesis chapter 14. In the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar. So let me tell you these impossible names I'm going to tell you. These are the four kings that are going to come all the way from Assyria past Babylon. They're going to go at least 2,000 miles, and we're going to find out why here in just a second. Okay, so here's the four kings. In the days of Aramphel, king of Shinar, Eroloch, king of Eleazar, Cherolomander, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Golam. These kings, those four kings, made war with, and now we're going to talk about the kingdoms basically in Israel, 2,000 miles away. These four kings made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Adamah, Shember, king of Zebulun, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. And all these joined forces in the valley of Sodom. Now that's a place just to the south of the Dead Sea. So the big question is, why did this army come 2,000 miles to fight five kings that are in the Israeli area? Well, here's why. 12 years they served Cherolomander, one of our furthest away kings. Sent him tribute. We serve you, and paid taxes. They paid their taxes. But in the 13th year, they rebelled. So these five kings in the Israel area got together and said, we ain't paying this guy anymore. He's 2,000 miles away. He'll never come chase us down. So in the 14th year, so 12 years they paid taxes. In the 13th year, they rebel. And in the 14th year, Cherolomander and the kings who were with him came and defeated. So they came. The point is, they start coming. And on the way, in the 2,000-mile journey, they start to defeat other kingdoms. So here are some of the other kingdoms. So they came and defeated Rephaim in Asheroth Kirnim, the Zulam in Ham, the Emin in Shavah-Kirathimim, the Horites in their hill country of Seir, as far as El Padon on the border of the wilderness. And then they turned back and came to En Mishpat and defeated all the country of the Amalekites, and the Amorites who were dwelling there. So these four kings now are going to pick off another number of kings. So we're up to 11 armies so far. So what started as an army of four kingdoms, now they've conquered armies, and I assume taken their soldiers. So now for the big battle. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adamah, the king of Zebulun, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, went out, and they joined battle in the valley of Sodom. So these four kings that have come 2,000 miles have gained now a total of 11 armies, are going to go against five kings, Sodom and Gomorrah. So a huge battle. And so then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Adamah, the king of Zebulun, the king of Bela went out and joined battle in the valley of Sodom with Cherolomander, the king of Elam, the super far away king, Tidal, the king of Golam, Aramphel, king of Shinar, Eroloch, king of Eleazar. So this is that 4 kings against 5, or in my count, 11 kings against 5. Now the valley of Sodom was full of bitumen pits, so tar pits. I don't know if you've been to the La Brea tar pits, but that's the idea here. Ooey gooey, tarry pits. And as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some of them fell into them, and the rest fell into the hill country. So the enemy took all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all the rest fled to the hill country. So the enemy took all the possessions and went on their way. They also took Lot, the son of Abraham's brother, who was dwelling in Sodom, and his possessions, and went their way. You know, Lot's supposed to be a shepherd, but he goes to live there, probably a bad decision. Then one of who had escaped told Abram, the Hebrew, who was living under the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and of Aner. These were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his kingdom had been taken captive, then it's going to go ... We're not going to tell you what's going to happen. So what does Abraham know? He has limited knowledge. He doesn't know he's going to be, other than what the Lord has promised. So just one cue, we must not read ahead. So we know how this turns out. We know Abraham's going to have faith, he's going to act righteously, and he's going to have son with a servant, then he's going to have son with his wife Sarai, and they're going to get new names, and they're going to make the Hall of Fame of faith. But here's a Bible technique. Don't read ahead. Read as if you're Abram, and there you are. Your nephew has been taken captive by now an army of at least 11, if not 16 kings. They're on their way back home, and what are you going to do? So it's one of the greatest powers the world has ever known, the Assyrian, it's a kingdom. So here's the questions that we're going to leave us is what happens next. So does Abraham continue in faith? Is the nation of the promise snuffed out because of Lot's stupid decision to go and live in the city of Sodom? Does family ties doom the family of God? Well, I'm not going to tell you how it turns out because you have to come back tomorrow. I want to leave you with a quote from Warren Wiersbe, who says, "Your faith has not been tested until we have been asked to bear what seems to be unbearable, do what seems to be unreasonable, and expect what seems to be impossible." Tomorrow, we'll find out what happens. Thanks for listening.